Okay, after much delays and troubleshooting and whatnot, we're going to go over the Zestek install for the Elantra N, i30N, and pretty much any N with the similar build, which is all of them really. So, I was going to do an actual install video, but there's a lot of good ones out there. I would highly suggest watching the Edge Auto Sports installs or the Studio RS installs. That actually helped me a lot more than you'd expect. Even though they're like BMWs and Civics, it's all similar when you're hooking these things up. Follow the steps that they've used, and you'll pretty much have a good understanding of what you need to do, and you will get this thing installed. However, there are some significant things that we need to go over for the Elantra N or the N platform itself. First off is the hub. There really isn't much out there. However, I did discover after a lot of trial and error, this particular hub from NRG, the SRK166H, works. It fits. It's damn near perfect. However, there are some things you will need to do to ensure that your product will work for the Zestek. Inside of the hub itself is like really sharp edges, so you might want to either put electrical tape around the edges where the cable is going to be fitting through, or shave down those corners, because they have the potential to cut the X14 cable that's going to go hook your car up, the electronics to your steering wheel to the Zestek hub. So you're going to want to protect that cable with your life, damn near it. I went through about 2 or 3 cables. Luckily, 777 and Zestek both reached out and was very supportive in helping me getting replacement parts for that cable as it got cut. But I'm here to tell you now, you could avoid all that just by either wrapping the X14 cable in like electrical tape, or filing down the hub and making sure that that edge is somewhat smooth and not like super sharp edged, so it doesn't cut the cable. I did reach out to NRG. I asked them, hey, are you guys going to make a new hub for the N platform? They said they're in development, but I think more people need to contact them. That way they can see that there's a demand for it, and that will probably cause them to get a new one out for the N platform. I mean, it looks great, but you can tell there's a little gap there. That gap probably could be, filled in, put a little bit more depth into the hub itself, and it'll fit the N better. But it works. It gets the job done. You'll also notice that I don't have the screw in for this Zestek plate. I don't have the screw in there because that's exactly where the cables, because the hub is so short, the cables are bunched up right behind this nut. So if I were to screw it in, it'll cut the cables. And again, don't want it to cut the cables because that controls everything when the hub's connected. Another major thing that we found, or I found, I should say, and in conjunction with Zestek Korea, who's also working on this, getting the power to the hub itself, that was a challenge. If you watch the videos from Edge Auto Sports, Studio RSS, as I suggested before, they show you plug into the accessories of the fuse box in the inside the car. There's a couple empty ports for the N. I'm gonna insert a picture of where I found that you can connect to that will power the hub without and you won't have the issue that I initially had, was that the lights would only cut on when the headlights of the car cut on. So that was the biggest thing that delayed me saying anything about the hub itself, because I couldn't get the power to the hub unless the headlights were on. So trying to go into N mode in the daytime with the power out of the hub is kind of it. You have to flash your headlights on, switch it to N mode, turn the headlights back off. So finally figured out how to knock that out. So again, look at the picture. I'm gonna put it in there in this video so you can see exactly where you're gonna have to plug into. That port works perfectly when the power is cut on, so the engine power cuts on, your hub will light up. Headlights could be on, off, or whatever, and you'll still have power to the hub, and it works flawlessly.
So I'm inserting this as an addition to some of the findings I had for this particular hub. You're going to want to shave down this piece in the inside. Let's see if I can get it good. Can I get this? Because that edge is sharp as all get out, so you'll end up cutting the wires on your X14 adapter, which was the biggest issue I had with the install. So what I did was I got a file and just shaved down that edge and put a piece of electrical tape on it to cover up that edge. Even though it's ground down, I just want to put an additional piece of plastic to protect it, along with extra wrapping around the cables here on the X14 adapter, some extra tape. It's not going to mess around with the movement of the device itself, but that extra protection is going to save you a lot of heartache. So you could probably also, if you're skilled enough with the heat shrink wrap tube stuff, use that. But electrical tape is plentiful for what I have for other projects. So I just wrapped a couple of pieces around to protect it, because you don't want to have this situation where the hub will cut the wire. So these wires are pretty thin and soft, so that definitely you're going to want to put some electrical tape or some type of protectant around these cables. Okay, so I think I got this thing to work. Well, it's working with my test. Like I had mentioned in the pictures, I had powered I have this cable here, tap, the power is actually connected to, that's tapped into this fuse. And then of course that power is ran up into the back of port 4, which is, connected to steering wheel. Let me power the car up. Right now I have the power to the headlights off, so we can confirm that no power is getting to the lights and everything should work as it should. And here we go. Steering wheel is on. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Yep. And there we go. Lights power up. Connected up. Everything's working. So that seems to be the fix. I didn't try the other way because I was thinking one of those two ports have to work, and with the positive always being up, that's what we're looking for. So tapping into 4 and having that power that's running to that fuse, you should always have power connecting to the steering wheel. Hope that helps, or that's a different way of doing it than what you guys did, but hey, it works.
Like, comment.